There are a ton of PC strategy games on the market covering just about every period in history, but most of those just involve one period at a time. Now QQP is coming out with a game that involves multiple time periods in the same battles. Weapons and units from the prehistoric age, the Civil War, World War II, and the future are all represented in Battles in Time. The story goes that in the future, the people of Earth settled their differences and learned to get along. As a result, wars were no longer fought and everyone forgot how to fight. Of course, this state of affairs sets the stage for an invasion by aliens who haven't bought into the peaceful way of life. Since no one remembers how to fight anymore, you're sent back in time to learn how previous civilizations waged war. Once you've mastered the long-lost military arts, you return to your own time and lead the fight against the original alien menace. When thrown into the time machine, the computer randomly decides which historic age the player visits first. The player is thrown into the body of a military commander which provides an instant regiment of troops for battle. But in order to go on to the next time period, the player must first win a battle in his present era. When the player goes to the next point in time, they automatically receive a contingent of troops from the last historical point. So, the player jumps from time period to time period, fighting battles and learning strategy until they eventually arrive back at their starting point with an army made up of weapons and units from all other times. Each battle is relatively quick compared to the many hours that battles in other games may take. This quick, decisive style of battle allows the player to move through the different time periods fairly quickly while working toward the final goal. It also keeps the game from getting bogged down in the same time frame. The objective is not to have epic battles in each time period, but to learn tactics and gather a force from each historical time. The player won't be spending a week on a battle in the Civil War, but maybe only an hour. This way, the player gets to use all of the units from all of the times in the overall campaign, instead of each battle taking forever to complete and get to the next time period. As you may imagine, some logistical problems begin to pop up when mixing military units from different times. How do you have guys from the prehistoric age fight World War II combat units? Obviously, QQP had to do some work adding and creating units and weapons from the various time periods which would offset each other. For example, a magnetic gun from the future would wreak havoc on tank columns, but wouldn't do diddly on a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So, a lot of effort has gone into ensuring that just because your army is comprised of older units, doesn't mean that you're going to get wiped off the map. QQP has also made an effort to make gameplay as easy as possible. Combat is turn-based, consisting of all sides shooting and moving in turn. It's a straightforward design that focuses the attention on the strategy and playing of the game. Fighting occurs on land and water as the player moves units into fighting position. There's also a combat function which lets the player use camouflaged units that can confuse the enemy into thinking your army is somewhere it isn't. With multiplayer games becoming more and more popular, QQP is also making Battles in Time multiplayer capable. When two players compete against each other, they'll be able to choose which time period to battle in. QQP is also looking into the possibility of making Battles in Time playable by mail, so both players don't have to be present at the same time to play. There are also plans to come out with expansion discs providing additional times and weapons. Using a single interface and easy gameplay, Battles in Time hopes to add some variety to already covered territory in the gaming market. Allowing matchups like a Brontosaurus against a Civil War cavalry unit sets the scene for unique battles, to say the least. Look for Battles in Time from QQP sometime at the end of August or the beginning of September.